All right, so my name is Tyler, and for those who don't know me, I just want to take a few minutes and talk about Christmas and why we can have hope at Christmas, and why the story of Christmas gives me hope throughout the year. And to me, hope is a really funny word, because the way the Bible uses the word hope and the way that I use the word hope 99.9% of the time are not the same thing. And I have a story that I want to use to illustrate. And if you don't know this about me, I love baseball. I live for baseball all year round. I don't care about any other sport. I don't even bother watching for a moment. It's just baseball or nothing to me. And if you've been paying attention to the Blue Jays, which are my team, which if you have another team, you are objectively wrong, and I can explain why later. But if you've been paying attention to the Blue Jays, there's been a bit of drama lately because it's the off season and everyone's wondering, who are we going to sign this year? What's the big move that we're going to make? What are we going to do? And there was a player out there whose name was Shohei Ohtani, and he's the greatest player of this generation. And the question was, are the Blue Jays going to be able to get their hands on this guy? And it was drama city for a while. There was rumors, there was gossip, there was people following planes that supposedly had him on it on the way to Toronto. The expectations and the rumors were through the roof. But Toronto sports being what Toronto sports are, it was a disappointment in the end. And days later, it turns out he signed with the LA Dodgers and has joined the evil empire in the West Side. And as I was reading the news that he had joined the Dodgers, I couldn't help but see some of the dejected fans from Toronto wallowing in their frustration. And one comment in particular stood out to me, and I promise this connects back to Christmas in a way. The comment was from a fan, and he said, after the last season, I was trying not to get my anticipation up. I was trying my expectations low, but I just couldn't help myself. It was too exciting. And in the end, it's the hope that kills you. And I thought, I had to stop thinking about baseball for the moment because that comment sunk in really hard to me because I thought, like, and the hope that kills you. And I thought, like, what a non-baseball but profound thing to actually say in the way that we think about the word hope in this world. And it really brought back to me, made me start thinking about the things that I put my hope in that end up in disappointment. The things that I put my hope and my trust in, that these things are going to make my life easier, better, more pleasurable, more tolerable, more exciting, happier, that lead to disappointment. They lead to disappointment because hope, as we talk about it in our Western world, isn't the way the Bible talks about it. We think of hope as kind of excited anticipation, right? We're hopeful that something might happen. But that's not the way Bible talks about hope. Because when the Bible talks about hope, it roots the hope back in the coming of Jesus. It roots our hope back in something that has already happened. So it is something that is assured, real, and certain. So why is it that the story of Christmas brings hope? Why is it that we can have hope for the future in something that has happened already in the past? And I'm always struck by the Christmas story every year when Christmas comes around and I start to read. I am struck by reading just the difficulty and the pain of how the birth of Jesus begins. That Jesus starts his life by being born into a manger. That, Mary and Joseph were going to Bethlehem because that's where their clan was from. They must have had people that could have taken them in. There must have been someone around that they knew that could help them. And yet here they are alone in the squalor of a manger. And as someone who is a fairly new dad who has witnessed childbirth and thankfully never has to go through it myself, I got to see that the trauma and just how the process of childbirth really kind of teeters on a knife's edge, it feels like at times. And thinking of this taking place in a manger where maybe the family of Joseph had just rejected them, that there was no one to comfort, no one to help, no one to take them in, that Jesus' life begins balanced on a knife's edge of survival in the face of already rejection. And that fills me with hope because it reminds me that Jesus came in this world not to immediately undo all the difficult things that we face, not to immediately change everything and blow it all up and start from fresh, but he comes in and he joins us in our experiences of rejection, in pain, difficulty, in trauma, here. That he comes and he joins me in moments when I have frustrations and disappointment, in pains and embarrassments and rejection. And when I reflect on that thought of, that statement that it's the hope that kills you, it's true that in a lot of ways, that hope that we put in other things that ultimately disappoint us can really kill us, because we put our hope in somewhere other than the hope that is certain. And the hope that comes at Christmas is a hope that is certain, it is a hope that is real, it is a hope that is assured, because it is a hope that has happened. And that will happen again, because it's not finished. Because God's redemptive work in my life and in this world are assured but not yet finished. That Jesus' work to right all the wrongs in this world is coming. And that I can have hope in that because Jesus has already done the work needed to accomplish that fact. And I can rest assured in a hope that doesn't kill me, but a hope that gives me life. So in Christmas time, when we sing about hope, we don't sing about this wishful anticipation like we speak about the hope that we have about everything else in our lives. We speak about hope as a certainty of what God has done and God is doing.